It's time, baby. We're talking about the finale of season 5 of Love Is Blind. It's the couple's wedding days, and I don't know, I'm not feeling too hopeful, but let's get right into it. But beforehand, I do just want to give a quick thank you to everyone that's been subscribing, supporting. Once again, I hit my goal of 1K subscribers, so thank you so much. I have like 1,300 at this point, so crazy how fast, my channel has been growing, and because of you guys, because of the support, my channel is officially monetized. So thank you guys so much. If you do like this video, you want to support me, please help me reach my next goal of 5,000 subscribers. And make sure you watch those ads, baby. Come on, help me get those ad revenues up. So run it up. But I do just want to say, obviously there's only 2 weddings and the episode is over an hour long. So I feel like there's just so much fluff. So I'm just going to be really skimming over a lot of that fluff and just cutting right to the point. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started with Stacey and Izzy's wedding day. Stacey is greeted by her sisters and spirits seem high, so that's good. They pop a bottle. They bring her white robe so they get her ready in the mood to feel like a bride today. And they show Izzy pulling up, and he pulls up in a red Ferrari. And I'm like, excuse me, what? They usually bring the cast in a big black van, and for some reason Izzy pulled up in a red Ferrari. I actually watched this episode with my twin sibling, and my twin was like, is that his car? Did he do that to flex? Anyway, so minute, but just wanted to point that out. Izzy's talking to his groomsmen, and he tells them that him and Stacey had a rough conversation the night before, and he says that they ultimately just needed space, and he still believes that Stacey is his girl. Stacey's talking to her sisters, and she says how her and Izzy are just still so different. Talks about his favorite food spot is Chipotle, and how he's never tried Mediterranean food or Peruvian food and stuff like that. And she also mentions the credit score thing and just not being honest about that stuff. So because of that, she's feeling a little hesitant. But her sisters are being really supportive. They're like, Izzy's really sweet. I think everything that he's saying is genuine, so at this point it's just time to go with your gut. Stacey says she's always been the person to be in her head, and she feels like with Izzy, she allowed herself not to be in her head so that she could really give herself to the experience. And she's grateful for that she learned that about herself. We then see Stacey talking to her mom, and once again, she's saying how her biggest thing with Izzy is that the fact that he wasn't lying to her, but the fact that he waited to tell her these things about his financial past. And her mom is just being supportive. She's that it's important to not ignore red flags, but just to realize, is this something worth blowing up for? And she ultimately just tells Stacey, just go with your gut. Just go with how you're feeling in that moment. We then see Stacey after she's done getting ready, and she's talking to her mom, feeling a little bit nervous. And then we see Izzy's best man, Justin, deliver a note that Izzy wrote. It's a cheesy poem, and Stacey's feeling really gushy about it. She, is feeling really, such a hopeless romantic, and it touches her and it calms her down and it gives her what she needs in that moment. We then see Izzy talking to his mom, and of course he's just super sweet. Izzy just saying that she wants the best for him and wants the best for both of them. I thought it was super wholesome, very cute. And then we also see Stacey's dad give her a visit before she walks down the aisle, and again Stacey's just looking very stressed, looking unsure. And we see some of that tension in her conversation with her dad before she gets ready to walk down the aisle. So fast forward, we finally see Izzy walking down the aisle, and he gives a little bit of the good energy. He's walking down the aisle, he's hyping up the crowd, which I thought was really sweet because this is something that Stacey has mentioned, how she wants someone to bring that calm energy when she feels like she's in the middle of the storm. So I feel like he's doing a good job of portraying that even to her family when she isn't even there. And then eventually Stacey comes down the aisle, and she looks pretty happy. They're both just looking at each other smiling, so things look good so far. Stacey says her vows, and she says that he pushes her to do things that make her uncomfortable because she simply wants to do them for him. She says that he's her rock and that they've been through a lot through the past few days, but she wouldn't do it with anybody else but Izzy. Izzy says his vows, and he thanks Stacey for being such a sweet and tender person, and he sees her for who she truly is. She's made him a better man, and he's never going to run away when things get tough. And now the time has come. The officiant asks Izzy if he says, I'll do. And of course, Izzy says, I do. And when it's Stacey's time to say I do, of course, There's a little bit of anticipation, a little bit of build up. They play some dramatic music. They start playing a heartbeat. It's super dramatic. But then Stacey answers with a speech. She says that she loves Izzy more than anything and that she wants to say yes, but she feels like that she'd be doing them both a disservice if she said yes and wasn't honest in that moment. And she says that ultimately she feels like they need time, and because of that, she can't say yes today, which I thought was totally appropriate. But Izzy responds, he's pretty positive. He says, I understand, I love you, and they kiss. You know, they kiss a little bit, and I think it's like really sweet. But then they make it super awkward, and they make her walk alone anyway. Like, that was really awkward because I think, like, obviously they still have love for each other, but it just wasn't the right time for her. And they made it super dramatic because now she has to walk alone. Now he's just standing there at the altar alone, like, super dramatic for no reason. So now they have some time apart, and Izzy's mom comes to check in on him, and she says that it hurts him to see that he's hurting, and, you know, ultimately she just wants the best for him. And it's a really sweet moment between the both of them, and you can just really see how close that they are. We then see Stacey talking to her mom, and she's saying how she feels a lot better after getting that off her chest. She just feels like it wasn't the right moment, and that, you know, she still loves Izzy, but she just couldn't say yes. Izzy and Stacey finally have a moment to reconnect, and Stacey tells Izzy that it was a lot of pressure, and she feels really relieved that the moment has passed, and it was a really hard decision because she didn't want to hurt Izzy. She wanted to make it work for him, but she just couldn't say yes. And Izzy says that he's confused because he feels like he was ready to give it her all, but he feels like Stacey isn't ready. And ultimately, he's just saying that he's not sure if Stacey will ever be ready. So he's just feeling really confused and not sure where to go from here. In my opinion, Stacey's looking at things really realistically, and Izzy's just like being really hurt about the whole situation. Like, he's acting like it's the end all be all, you know, and it's just like, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. They can absolutely keep dating after this experience. But I absolutely believe that production is like hyping up his intense emotions as well. Like, they're probably making it seem like, oh, if they say no at the altar, you know, like, then they can never talk to each other again. Like, I don't know. I just feel like production definitely has some part in why his emotions are so heightened, and like why he would take that such to heart and be so sad after the fact, you know? Going off of that, we then see Izzy just being really sad, and he starts complaining. He's like, you know, how is Stacey still 33 and single anyway? Like, I'm 29 and I can give her anything that a 45-year-old rich man can give her. And it's just like, at this point, he's just blathering. He's just like being sad and drunk. So I definitely think they're making it more intense than what it needs to be. All right. And that is where things end with Stacey and Izzy. And that brings us to Lydia and Milton's wedding day. Lydia says she's excited despite how her and Milton's last conversation went. Milton was saying that pretty much she's just too emotional, and he feels like she should have handled the situation with her and Uche better. And she feels like all of the bullshit that they went through was worth it. And to me, she's just being very, very delusional. Like, I don't know what she is like trying to make herself believe, but I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. We then cut to Milton, and he's saying how Lydia is everything that he needs. And then he starts saying how he just got off of work and that he worked overnight. He got off of work at 7 a.m. and he hasn't gone to sleep. He says he's not going to let that stop him from having a great day. After talking with his groomsmen for a little, they show a clip of him saying how he feels like this whole experiment has been like a roller coaster, how his feelings will, one moment he'll be really sure and the next moment he's unsure. And he says that he feels like he's sure that he's going to say yes, like at the altar, but nothing in life is ever really 100% sure. So he was just like, I've never really seen that. So nothing is ever really 100%. So kind of builds a little bit of suspense, I guess. We then see Lydia talking with her mom, and her mom is just complimenting them. She's saying how much they compliment each other, and she just feels like it's going to work out. And to me, I feel like she's just feeding Lydia delusions. Again, both of them are very delulu. I don't know what's going on, but okay, let's hope it works out. We then cut to Milton talking to his dad. His dad says that the biggest advice that he has for him is just to fight fair, which I feel like is really good advice, because from what we've seen, I think Milton can be a little bit stubborn, or at least just like, he's very stern, and Lydia obviously is the exact opposite. She's very emotional. So I thought that was very keen advice for his dad to like point out for him specifically. And his dad said to realize that everything is going to seem a lot better during the honeymoon phase, which for him, he says 2 years, which that feels like a long time for a honeymoon phase. And then Milton mentions how he feels like everybody else is a lot more nervous than him and Lydia are. So he's like, I don't know, am I going into this super naive? So again, just building a little bit of suspense. And then it's time for the ceremony. We see Milton walk down the aisle, and to me, it's just a little bit awkward, but I think just because Milton is an awkward person, like he doesn't say hi to anybody, doesn't even say hi to his family. He just like walks right in and just like stands there. He's just talking to the officiant. And when Lydia walks in with her mom, she's just beaming. She's just smiling. She looks beautiful. She looks gorgeous, but you can just tell she's just so excited to be there and that this is just like the dream that she's been waiting for. Lydia says her vows, and she says that she's so happy that he chose her and that he understood her for who she is. Milton says that he picked Lydia because she challenged him in the pods and inspired him to be more, and that he's never had a doubt about her, and he hopes that he feels that way forever. So then it's time to say I do. And of course, Lydia says I do. She says yes without any hesitation. And then we cut to Milton, and when the officiant asks Milton, they start to build up some anticipation, but it's kind of like a quick cut. He says yes. So it was like a fake anticipation, I guess. But yeah, he says yes. Everyone starts cheering, and then he kisses her before they even put the rings on. So, you know, he jumped the gun there, but they say the things. They're like, I'll take you for rich or for poor, for sickness and health, yada, yada, yada. He says, I pronounce you man and wife, and they're officially married. Everyone's excited. Lydia and Milton just keep saying how this feels right, how they can't wait to spend the rest of their lives together and just keep making out and stuff. And honestly, this whole time, just like, damn, I feel sorry for Milton's back. Like, he already got back problems, and now he's gonna be bending down to her for the rest of his life. Like, poor guy. But that's pretty much the rest of the episode. Crazy how that's the whole episode. It was over an hour long, and I just spent 15 minutes talking about it. Are you kidding me? I feel like there was so much fluff because after we see Milton and Lydia's ceremony, there's still 7 minutes left of the episode, and we just cut back to drunk Izzy just being sad. He's just saying how he does believe that love is blind and how he doesn't care about looks or whatever, and he just wants to be loved for him. And we see Stacey, and she says that she also believes that love is blind and that she cares for Izzy, but she just wasn't completely sure. She wasn't going to commit herself to him if she didn't feel like it was right in that moment. We then see tidbits of the rest of the couples. We check in with JP and Taylor, Uche and Aaliyah, and Johnny and Chris. And it's just kind of prepping us for the reunion, which comes out this Sunday. And I don't know. I'm going to watch it, but I'm still undecided if I want to make a video. So if you guys want me to make a video, then tell me, because otherwise I'm just not. Like, I really don't care enough. Honestly, the reunion is just mainly going to be like, I feel like it's mainly going to be Uche and Aaliyah, Uche and Lydia, and then, I don't know, I guess Johnny, Stacey, and Izzy, like their whole situation, which I'm not like excited for. Yeah, this whole season, it was, I don't know. Love is Blind has just reached that point where it's just like it's a reality show. Everything just feels like it's fake or set up in a way. I don't know. So let me know. Should I talk about the reunion? I'm still not sold. But anyway, I'm surprised that Milton and Lydia said yes. So we'll see how things end up with them at the reunion. But that is where I'll end today's video. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please make sure to subscribe and help me reach my next goal of 5,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.